Start early, get out early.
Yeah, I'm trying to make up for being late. Okay, somebody read this quote. Okay, this way, but this is, yeah, David.
There is one thing more than anything else that will defeat us in our recovery, which is an attitude of indifference or tolerance toward spiritual principles. Three of these that are indispensable are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. With these, we are well borne away.
Okay, so this this quote, it says, there is one thing more than anything else. So this is huge.
Yes.
This, whatever this is going to say, this is huge because above all else, this is the deal. This is the main event. It's according to the quote. One thing more than anything else that will defeat us in our recovery. Well, that's a pretty big deal. Defeating us in our recovery. Do you know anything about being defeated in your recovery?
Yes.
All right. So you understand the concept, and this guy says there's one thing more than anything else that will do that to us. And here's the one thing. It's an attitude. Not what we do or don't do, although that comes out of it, but it's all about the way we think. It's an attitude. Now in this case, the one thing more than anything else that will defeat us in our recovery is an attitude of indifference or intolerance. Now, indifference would be, I don't care. It doesn't matter, I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. That's indifference. Intolerance is, no, I won't. Nope, I won't. No, no, I won't. No, that's intolerance. Indifference or intolerance, an attitude of indifference or intolerance toward spiritual principles. The one thing that will take you out and keep you in relapse mode more than anything else is an attitude. An attitude of indifference or intolerance toward spiritual principles. Now, three of these what? Open mind. Three of these what? Spiritual principles. Three of these spiritual principles that are indispensable. What's that mean?
Something you can't do without.
Yeah, you can't live without. Gotta have it. Three of these spiritual principles that are indispensable are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. With just these three, we are well on our way. Well on our way to what? Recovery. A whole different way of living. All right? What famous preacher said this?
Dr. Bill.
Billy Graham. That Billy Graham's one you always just have to guess. Got to guess Billy Graham. No.
No Lawson.
Who's that?
Creflo
Jim
Dollar.
Baker? No. Oh, yeah, no.
Bill Lonnie.
Phil Donahue? No.
Dr. Bill.
Creflo Dollar.
Creflo Dollar, did you say? Yeah. Creflo Dollar.
Billy
yeah.
Graham.
His name is Bill.
Billy Graham usually gets quoted. Dr. King will get quoted. I hear T.D. Jakes quoted quite often. Every now and then somebody said, Pastor Gary said that. No. None. These do not come from a preacher.
Bill Wilson.
It's not Kevin Healy, and it's not the Bible. Here's where it came from.
I knew it.
Oh, act like you know something, will you, Jack? All right. This actually comes from the NA Basic Text, chapter 4, how it works, and you can find it on page 18. Now, this was really, for me, early on, this is quite a few years ago now. But you know, the average NA guy that I knew did not seem to have much of a spiritual focus. Just saying. And so I was kind of an NA hater. Because the guys that I knew didn't seem to be working on much of anything. And I didn't see anything spiritual about them. Well, what my problem was, I was judging NA based on some guys that I knew in NA. Well, that sucks. The fact is, when you read NA literature, what we read every morning, just for the day, where's that come from? NA. There is some incredible spiritual insights that NA pass on all the time. My problem was I was judging the spirituality of NA based on NA guys that I knew. And that was wrong. But you know, that happens in my world too. People say, I ain't going to that church. And why?
Because of the people.
Yeah, because those people I know in that church, man, I know if those people are Christians, I ain't going to that church.
They got a credit card.
And it's the same problem. We judge the institution based on certain individuals we know. And what we've got to do is we've got to learn to get past that. Whether it's church or A or NA or whatever.
It's stereotype.
And that's exactly what we do. And so I came to get a great appreciation for the spirituality of Narcotics Anonymous, and I just had to overlook the dudes that I knew at that time that were involved in the program because I wouldn't see nothing. But they were a bad representation, bless you, of what NA was all about, just like there are bad representations of church, and there are bad representations of helping our mission. It's the truth.
Was this man steal back from the ad?
Well, hold on, is that Wayne?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Wayne.
You know, I've always been a fan of NA. One thing that attracted me was that's not religious programs. You know, I've got a lot of issues with, you know, the whole religious side of it. You know, I'm open-minded now, but one thing that has always upset me about it also was, you know, a lot of their literature contradicts the steps. You know what I mean? And for me, that kind of it tends to make me block out a lot of information I should be absorbing. You know what I mean?
All right, now I don't read enough NA literature to be an expert on the subject. I would personally, I'd be surprised that a lot of the literature contradicts the steps. So if you could educate me on some of that as we go through, that'd be great. But you introduced a word. You used the word religion. It ain't up here.
No.
See, I am not religious.
Spiritual.
In fact, I'll fight you if you call me religious. I'll take you out. I do not consider myself a religious guy, but I do consider myself a spiritual guy. Religion and spirituality don't necessarily have anything to do with each other. Sometimes religion is the opposite of spirituality.
What exactly is religion?
Well, I'm going to give you my definition of what religion is. Is this who is this? Bruce, yeah.
Well, I don't have my things. I
Right.
can get to
I trust you.
Religion is a set of rules that you have to follow to get into heaven, basically. And God does not like that because of anything faith and grace.
I totally agree with what Bruce said. Religion is a human effort, is man's effort to make himself look good and be acceptable to God.
So it's a front.
Well, it may be a front, but it may be your best. I've given it my best shot, but step one says I am powerless. I am unmanageable. I'm out of control. I'll never be able to put this together. And so the whole idea of step one says religion will never work if that's what religion is. And I agree with what Bruce said. That's my definition. Because my best efforts wind up putting me in places like this. I can't, step one, but he can, step 2. And so I need to make the step 3 decision to let him do for me what I can't do for myself, but what he can. Turn my will and my life over to him. So I am not a religious dude. I'm a spiritual dude, imperfect spiritual. I'm not, I ain't got it all together at all. I am a dirty, rotten, stinking sinner. But I am a spiritual dude. I am not a religious dude. I tried to be a religious dude and I found out that was a bankrupt way to live. I ain't got it. I'll never be able to pull it off. Nobody else can either. And so religion is where we give it our best effort to make ourselves presentable before God. Just give it up. You'll never be able to do it. I can't, but he can do it for me. Make a decision to turn my will and my life over to him and let him do for me what I can't do for myself. Yeah, George?
And God said, come as you is. You ain't got no good.
That's right. That's exactly how he wants. He wants me. He wants me like I am. He meets me where I am.
Yeah.
And will take me to places and levels I just never dreamed possible.
I think a lot of people also think that if you go to church, you're religious, so they ain't going to go to church, but that's not what going to church means, because it tells us in the Bible to gather together and worship the Lord. And a lot of people think, oh, religion means you go to church, and when you tell somebody to go to church, oh, you're religious, you're not spiritual. That makes up a lot too.
And again, it's because we judge church based on people we know, or what we think we know, just like I did with NA. It's stupid me, but stupid us, and stupid is, and stupid does, and speaking of stupid, yes.
Go on, that's week in churches, actually going to church in the building, churches, people gathering and worshiping Christ and the Holy Spirit. That's the church.
Yeah, we get hung up on buildings.
Yep.
And for the first couple hundred years, there were no buildings. They're just people. And so church is not about buildings and institute, even programs. Church is people.
There's only one perfect man.
That's right. All right, so this comes from the NA Basic Text. Now, Sonny suggested that NA stole it from AA Big Book. Most of you, well, maybe don't know, but most of you, some of you do know, that almost everything that's in the Narcotics Anonymous Basic Text, almost all of it has a foundation in the AA Big Book. So when I learned this, got real fired up about this, I started asking everybody I knew, is this in the big book? Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's in there. Well, where? And then I said, no, that's not in the big book. It's not there. So let me ask you, do you think this is in the big book?
No. AA Big Book?
You know the other big book?
I would
AA Big Book.
No,
Is this in the big book?
it's not worded that way.
All right, let's see what Sonny thinks. He's the authority on perpetration. What do you think? Is it in the big book?
I would think everything's over the big book.
He said, I think almost all of it comes out of the big book.
I think what you're trying to say is everything comes from.
So do you think it's in the big book? Read it, Sonny.
We find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the program. Willingness, honesty, and open-mindedness are the essentials of the program, but they are indispensable.
All right.
Yeah.
Does it sound like it? You know, it's there, isn't it? It's there. It's there. Whole bunch of words are the same.
Right.
You know, use the same terminology, but reworded it. Now, some people like the way they said it in the AA Big Book better than the AA Basic Text. While I tend to be a Big Book boy, I actually like this better. The NA statement really talks to me a little better than the Big Book does. Now, what somebody's pointed out that in the NA Basic Text, it's honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. That would be H-O-W. And in the Big Book, it's willingness, honesty, and open-mindedness. That'd be W-H-O. All right. This one this one just works a lot better for me myself. This one really talks to me, but it's good, that's good. And either way, the message is very clear. Spirituality is what it's all about, and 3 spiritual qualities are willingness, honesty, and openness. Bless you. They are, in fact, indispensable. Okay, well, that being said, I know you want to get to lunch, but I ain't ready yet. So, I go off the NA basic text, HOW, which stands for? All right, HOW. Honest. Now, I want to focus not so much with anybody, but I want to focus on doing this with God. Being honest with God about where I really am today. Can you really tell God what you're really thinking? Should you tell Him? Why is it okay to tell God what you're really thinking? A couple of you said, He already knows what I'm thinking. He's just waiting for me to get honest with Him about what I'm really thinking. And in fact, sometimes I got to get honest with myself that I'm really thinking that before I can even be honest with Him. So, to be honest with God about where I really am right now. If you're going to be honest with God about where you really are, you're going to tell Him?
Yeah.
If you say a cuss word, is that okay?
Where you are, right?
You know, it's not a good thing to do. You shouldn't be cussing God, but you know, if that's where you are, He understands. Y'all remember Forrest Gump? Yeah. Remember Lieutenant Dan in the masthead, up in the crow's nest of the shrimp boat during the storm? Remember him and God? He just giving God what for?
Yes, he was.
All right, and look, I don't want to encourage you to be cussing God, but the fact is, he was just being honest about how he really felt, and God didn't nuke him. In fact, it becomes clear after that, out of that, Lieutenant Dan has this transformation. I mean, it's almost like a biblical conversion, and I'm not sure if they intended it to look that way or not.
Yeah.
But the brother's life gets changed after he just got honest about where he really is. If you're ever going to be a different dude, well, there's one thing more than anything else that will defeat you in your recovery. It's an attitude of indifference or intolerance towards honesty. All right? Being honest with God about where you really are. Then open to what God is saying to me through circumstances today. And you can actually put, for circumstances, you could actually put people, places, and things. God is going to use people, places, and things to talk to me today. And some of it I'm not going to like, but He's going to use it to talk to me. So, honest with God about where I really am, open to what that just happened. What's the value of that in my life today? There is, and I just need to begin to understand that God allowed this for my good. So, honest with God about where I really am, open to what He's saying to me today, and then willing to step out and attempt to do what I think He wants me to do now. It's that simple. This is what AA and NA were talking about. So I kind of like this order myself best because it works that way. That's my mind kind of thinks this way. I got to start there. If I start there, then the rest of it begins to happen. And willing, for me, sort of the last rung on the ladder, I'm going to have to take a few steps before I'm going to be in a willing mode.
Right.
And I just learned that this is how it works for me. Honest with God about where I really am today, open to what God's saying to me through stuff, and then willing to step out and attempt to do what it is I think he wants me to do now. And if I can be that guy on a daily basis, it'll change everything. It will no longer be defeat in recovery. No longer has to be an issue if I'm this guy. I'll never have to struggle with it again as I stay this guy. Now we're gonna be imperfect at this, and we'll relapse on one part of this or the other every now and then. So that's true. So it's gonna be a battle, but you don't have to go down in flames ever again if you can just get comfortable with being this guy with God on an everyday basis. First David.
It's funny that you brought this up, Pastor Gary, because the last time I was here, I was here a little while ago, and I left because of some circumstances. But it's like God he was humble and he was gentle with me, but I guess I went outside his plan. So I felt that, and I knew that, and I asked God, I said, so what is it that you want me to do? So, just right away some ideas came in my mind, and I pretty much, I'm trying to do this thing with the youth so I can, go out there and help the youth out. But every day, as I was doing this, he gave me that idea, but every day I was trying to sleep at night and sleep at night. And the Helping Up mission just kept popping in my head every time for like 2 weeks straight. So I finally just got the heart to say, I know this is what God's telling me and what he wants me to do. So I had to give up some things like my job, my family and stuff, and come back here and try this thing again. Because I know it's not, it's definitely what God was telling me to do pretty much. So that's pretty much, I seen what you just, the honest, open-minded, and willingness, that's just going to be the answer right there of the things what I just done.
Well, I get that, and I have to stay, I have to work at it, be that guy, but I've done it. Imperfectly, but that's what I do, what you're talking about. But I'm working at it on a day-by-day basis, and hopefully this will become the new way of life for you. And you'll be that guy, and no longer will you have to struggle with defeat of your recovery, because this is what will change everything. The NA quote, the AA quote, it's right. That changes everything. All right, now, how, with a capital H-O-W, to access God's plan for my life? And that's what David's talking about. Does that interest you?
Yeah.
Are you at the place right now in your recovery that you're actually interested in accessing God's plan for your life?
Yeah.
All right, and then this is H-O-W to do that. Now, you might know this. Read it for me, Jonathan.
For I know the plans I have planned for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future.
You ever heard this one before? It's kind of a famous verse. It's kind of famous. It's Jeremiah 29:11. And here's what it's God. God's talking, declares the Lord. This is God talking. For I know, God says, I know the plans I have planned for you. I don't know how good you are with English grammar, but I know is present tense, and the plans I have planned for you is past tense. The verse suggests that God had this plan for your life, but some stuff's going on, some stuff's happened along the way, most of it's you. But he says to you today, I still know the plans that I planned for you. Now that kind of says to me that the warranty on the plans is still good. The guarantee is still there. The plan is still in effect. He's saying, even though I've done, and I think the answer is, yeah. As long as you're still breathing, the plan is still in effect. I still know, God says, the plans I planned for you. Now here's the plan. Plan to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Now, plans to prosper you, not to harm you. When we hear the word prosper, we tend to think of getting rich. It really doesn't mean get rich.
It's like when we get that good feeling in class, when you're laughing and we feel like we achieved something and we're happy.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, that's right. Not rich, but I'm okay. I'm all right.
Contentfully joyful.
And contentfully joyful. I like that, Jonathan. You and I can be and are supposed to be prosperous in the sense of you'll be okay, not rich, but you'll be all right. You'll have enough. I'm okay. Well, I don't have all that, but I'm okay. I'm all right. Yeah, it's good. Life's good. Prosperous. I'm not rich, but you'll be all right. God says, my plan is to make sure you're okay. Yeah, I got you. You're all right. I'd like some more stuff. I'm all right. It's okay. I'm all right. Plan to prosper you, not to harm you. Now, how many of you have ever been stabbed? Stabbed. How many of you ever had surgery? Surgery. What's the difference? They both cut you.
One intends to do you harm.
One cuts you to harm you, the other cuts you to heal you, to help you. So, this verse is not saying that there won't be some pain or there won't be some blood. Not saying that. But he says, everything that I'm going to do for you in the plan, it's to help you, to make you better. It's for your own good. My plan, that's still in effect, you'll be all right. You'll be okay. You have enough. You'll be all right. But it won't necessarily be without some pain, but it will always be to make you better. My plan, which is still in effect, gives you hope and the future. How's that sound? Man, that's a pretty great way to live. Well, how do you access this? Yeah. How do you access it? Honest, open, and real. This isn't rocket science. God made it for people like you and me. I can be this guy when I'm this guy. This is supposed to happen when I'm working at being this guy. Now, I'm going to be imperfect at this, but he already knows that, because I've already screwed up the plan. Now, God's got this plan for my life. He's got a plan. And I'm either going to go through life with the plan. I'm either going to go through life with God's plan. I'm either going to go through life kicking and screaming, or honest, open, and willing. You've tried kicking and screaming. How'd that work out for you? Yeah, that's why we're here. That's not working.
Right.
But there's this plan. In spite of what I've done, it's still in effect. I'll be all right. He'll take care of me. I'll be okay. It's going to make me better. It may hurt. There'll be a piece of pain along the way, but I'll be all right. It'll be a better fact for it. And it gives hope in the future. That beats anything else you try. I guarantee it. And this is a guarantee from God that as long as you're still breathing, it's still in effect. Your job, should you choose to accept it, is to go through life honest, open, and willing, or kicking and screaming. And you've done kicking and screaming. That's why we're struggling here. If you decide to go at it this way, the plan will open up and you go, I can't believe this. If I had only known this 5 years ago, well, we are who we are. Stupid is as stupid does, speaking of Forrest Gump. And so I messed up, but I'm here now. The plan's still in effect, and I'm going to let him take care of me, and you'll find out he will. And I know it's going to be for my own good, even though there's going to be some blood and some pain along the way. And I'm going to experience some hope and future like I've never known before. Is that you, a hand?
I have a question. My problem with just myself
yes.
being honest.
Yes.
Because I've always said, if God can get me out of this mess, I'll never use again. Which I've lied so many times. And the honest part is
well, and so you're going to be honest with God that I have trouble being honest with God. You know, and he already knows that, and he's just waiting for you to just come to a new realization of that. And, you know, it'd be good with you, Sonny, around here to develop a couple relationships with some accountability partners. And where you would make yourself vulnerable to some guys and you say, look, when you see me starting to get out of pocket in my attitude, call me on it. Not in front of everybody, but I give you permission to confront me about my stuff. And of course, real accountability partners goes both ways. They would do the same. But you get some guys to help you continue to stay honest about stuff and open about stuff. And I think it'll transform things for you in a hurry. Because you're an older guy. You've been around the block a few times. I can tell. And it's about time for you to get this stuff together. And you've tried everything once, at least once, probably 2 or 3 times. So it's time to really do something different. And I'm submitting to you, if you will at all give it a good run, he will meet you where you are and stuff will happen. You can't believe it. It's a miracle. Well, if there is a God, if he really is there, this is stuff he says he'll do. And if you work at being this dude, I'm telling you, he's going to meet you. You won't believe it. It's awesome. And there was a hand.
All right. You know, my sponsor always tells me that, because I've had like 6 years clean, got a really successful business going, and I never picked up my step work. And he told me in 4 or 5 years, you really got to start doing some step work. And he says, you're not willing to do some open-minded, honest step work. And I relapse every time. And then he says, you know, go to the gym and sit down and watch the guys work out and see how in shape you get. He says, you're not going to get in shape. And then he said, go around and ask some guys that had clean time that relapsed and ask them if they did step work. And I did that meetings, 4 years, no step work, 5 years relapse, no step work. And then if you're a literature person, it says in NA literature, very rarely do we see anyone who worked a thorough 4-step relapse. And then he said, start asking some guys any time that didn't relapse. All them guys work step work, still work step work, work step work. It's that willing thing is the big thing. Because I'm like, what do I got to write stuff down for to make this work?
But it's not rocket science, it's just a willingness to quit doing my deal. I mean, I'm giving it my best shot, and it sucks. Gotta try something. What if you're not ready? If you know you're not old like Sonny, you know you're a young guy, and you would think you need to take another run around the block. That's what you gotta do. So and there's no hating from us, right? If a brother goes out, there's no hating. You look, if he's not ready, he's not ready. You know what it is to not be ready. And nobody could make you get ready, could they? No. They tried, didn't they? You can't do it. If you're not ready, you're not ready. So, bro, if you're not ready, you're not ready. We respect that. Now, if you're willing to hang out a while, I just want you to know you might get ready. But if you hang out. But if you just can't, no hating from us. In fact, we'll pray for you. But go do what you got to do. But God willing, you know, if you had to take another run at it, you know, God willing, you'll make it back here or a place like this to help you regroup your life. But some of you are just so tired of that. I mean, John, he's saying it. I'm just so tired of doing this. I'm so tired of relapse. I'm so tired of getting some stuff together and then giving it all away again. I'm tired of this. Well, if you're really tired of it, there's answers. But it's honest, open, willing. Got to be that guy every day. Imperfectly be that guy every day. But that's what's supposed to happen.
I got honest and open on 92. I had a good business with it, but then I slipped and decided that I didn't want to be honest with him. So I stopped working my program. And that part that they say very rarely do they use that they use for stuff, that can happen. You can be on the 12th step, and you can fall right back into that thing, and you have to start over because you're not willing to keep the program. That's what I did. I stopped the program, and I fall right back down to what's going.
And it didn't take long to get down deep, down and dirty again.
We got work every day.
So look, it's just there's no hating from us on this, but we're just trying to get really honest about our deal. Really open to what's out there. And then the willingness will be the last challenge. Yeah, Alan?
Now I think, looking at this, I agree with over there. That's what got me, you know, right? fought for years, clean time, own business, all that. And I think what got me was complacent. You know, after 8 years of doing good and having everything I thought I wanted, I got complacent and stopped going to meetings. Now I'm working stuff, I got this thing.
And you could start at that point, Alan, with being honest with God and say, you know, really, my problem right now is I'm complacent. I'm really complacent. So God, you're gonna have to show me some stuff. Well, He'll show you some stuff.
Okay.
And then you have to be willing to do it. But just stay honest about where I am. This is not rocket science. This was made simple for guys like me and George to be able to understand and practice.
Yeah. And like God said, he told God, get me out of this, and I won't do it no more. You mean that?
Yes.
But you don't stick to your guns. Sit up there and put another blast in you say, God damn it, why did I do it? Now I'm off to the races. Right back where you started from, after 14 years clean. It don't
true.
take but a minute.
That's just true.
You gotta stay focused. I stopped going to meetings, and I say, I'm alright. God damn, I'm drinking beer, go give me a hit, and I'll be alright. And I'm still telling dudes that I'm clean. I'm lying to them, God, and myself. All it takes is a minute. Back out there and chase. Pounding that concrete, chasing that shit.
And if you're if you do struggle, you do lapse, let's just man up. You know, get honest, be open, and then get willing to do what you know is the next right thing. You don't have to wallow in it. You don't have to let it take you down to the depths. And you have to do that. So if I screw up, man up, and let's just regroup and get it done, get it right.
Screw up, man up.
Screw up, man up. All right. Anybody else? Wayne, was that a hand? All right. Does this talk to you? It really does talk to you. The verse?
The first verse,
Well, I can, but,
I'll write it down for him.
yeah, you know, you should
He's
get a
old, he's got
Bible.
old hands, like I was
Yeah, old guy with old hands and old brain and stuff, all right? Yeah, do you have a Bible yet? Yeah. Yeah, good, all right, okay, yeah, it's in there. It's in there. By the way, based on that stuff, I should get, my definition of spirituality now, for me, spirituality is living before God, honest, open, and willing, one day. I don't think you can do any better than that. If I'm that guy, I'm everything I should and supposed to be. This is before God, honest, open, willing, one day at a time. I'll be as spiritual as I can ever get, as I ever need to be. It's that simple. Just being that honest, open, willing dude. Okay, hey Billy, what are you doing up here?
Just wandered in.
All right, you got bored over there in the other building? All right, well, we understand that, you know, working with all those numbers by himself in an office, you know, just counting numbers all day, that's got to get boring, so he comes back over here with the action.
I love to hear you teach
Yeah,
Like,
Jack?
being in this program now, I've been in for 3 days, but, and I want to stay, you know, I want to be here, I want to be here. But, and I'm being honest,
Yep.
But sometimes, I feel guilty because I can control my actions right now by staying here. But sometimes my thoughts drift, and I feel guilty about some of the things I think sometimes. So
do I.
Pastor Gary.
So what I'm trying to say is I can control my actions by staying here. But my mind is so polluted for so many years. I still drift and think that old way of thinking. And then lately I've been trying to catch myself, honestly.
Take captive every thought, every imagination, every high power that
Wait, now,
exalts
with his
itself.
opinion.
Every principality.
Well,
What do you mean, sir?
and listen, and we all have those, that all happens to all of us. I hate it.
You understand what I mean, though?
I do. I'm driving down the road, coming to work in the morning, coming to do God's work, help guys. I've got Christian radio on, I'm praying, driving down the interstate, and somebody cuts me off. The things that I think, and even sometimes say, it's embarrassing. Pastor Gary, the dirty, rotten dude that I am. So I understand those thoughts. Now, the longer you stay here, the more we're going to help you to address the thoughts and the reasons for those thoughts and all the collateral damage that and we're going to be able to help you wipe that slate clean and get past that and help you get much better at being this honest, open, willing, doing it one day at a time, and it'll just begin to go away.
So every day, I'll probably get, if I stay with the program every day, I'll probably get a little bit better.
Yeah, now there'll be a day or two where you'll take a step back, that'll happen. But at the end of the week, you'll go, I think I'm a little better. Now there's a good chance that others will actually see it better than you. And again, if you can develop a couple of guys in here who would be decent accountability partners, and they would give you an honest assessment at the end of the week, and they'd go, I actually think you went backwards a little bit this week, bro. But probably most of the time, they'll see progress you don't even realize. And you say, well, you don't know my thoughts. Well, okay, that's true. But if your thoughts are that bad, you begin to act out differently. So you're making a lot more progress than you give yourself credit for. It's wonderful. It's true. And you quoted one of our Omega memory verses. We'll have to quote that when we get to Omega. Yeah, but you forget everything. This is really sad. I showed up almost on time, and then I forgot everything else. Yeah, it's the computer's fault.
Keep coming back.
All right, well, it's an honest program, so I'm going to pray and ask Jesus. The good news is, stuff you would have written on the paper, does he know?
Yes.
Yes, he does. So I'm going to ask him, in spite of me, to cover the stuff that you would have written. Let's pray. Lord, I believe all this stuff we've talked about. First of all, that I just got myself, I got so many issues, and I do so much stupid stuff, and it is embarrassing sometimes, me being me. And yet, I've learned to be honest about it with you, and as appropriate with other people. And I'm able to face it, deal with it, and let it go. And it feels good. And so, Lord, to the best of my ability, I work at this, and some days I'm better than others. But I work at being the guy that we're talking about today. And it's working really good. The plan is awesome. And it's my prayer that my brothers can plug into that. And your plan for their life is not the same as your plan for mine. But you've got a plan for them. And it is no less awesome than your plan is for me. So I commit myself and my brothers to the plan. We would have written, my bad, but we would have written a bunch of stuff on the prayer sheet. You know what it is, and you actually care more about it than we do. And you certainly know better how to fix it than we do. And so we commit those people, places, and things that were on our hearts, we would have written down. We commit all of those situations to you. And we ask you to take care of it, know best in your time. And help us, empower us, give us the grace that we need to have to do our part, whatever that looks like. And for the people that we care about, talk to them like you talk to us, and give them what they need today as well. I thank you that we're not going this alone. We not only have each other, we've got our backs the whole way. So, may we plug into that plan. May we go honest, open, willing, and never again kicking and screaming. And I pray it all in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, get out.